Hello, hello. Been a little while. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Last Wednesday I was super busy and stressed, and I did not have time uh, to stream. And then on yesterday, Saturday, it was like a catch-up day. So um, I did not have a chance to do it yesterday, but finally I have time to stream again. And there's been a really big Deadlock patch. So what I'm going to do is I've only seen bits and pieces. I've only seen bits and pieces of the update. So we're actually going to go through. I have it on here. Boop. The patch notes. So I've only seen little bits and pieces of this. And so we're going to read through them and then maybe hop back in game and look at some of them. And then we'll see, I guess, what's in store. So let me actually look at something real quick, just to check. What is this sound, by the way? Testing. Testing. Okay, it works. It's just in my YouTube studio. It says chat is disabled for this live stream, so I just wanted to make sure that you could actually chat, and you can. Okay. Anyway, back to the patch notes. Okay. General can now jump during slide. Now, this is a bit weird to me because I felt like you could already do this. Let's choose a character that is the Talon.
I thought I had earned a peaceful life.
Like, I'm not sure. Is it just allowing you to continue to hold crouch? Because like before you had to release crouch and then jump. Okay, I don't know if this actually changes anything or if it's just quality of life. Dash jump grants a very brief period with increased air control, 30% for 0.25 seconds. Oh, okay. Can I make a hotkey? Yeah, so what I'm looking at here is this is the it's like the so I'm not sure if I noticed anything different there. Okay. Shrine is now easier to kill for the first one and harder for the second. So instead of 8,100 HP, the first shrine is 5,000 HP and the second one is 10,000. Shrine attacks no longer hit heroes under the shrine. Super Troopers bonus DPS increased from plus 40% to plus 60%, which are the trooper upgrades when the shrine dies. Okay. Middle lane troopers now get upgraded when either of the shrines die rather than only when both die. Ooh. Alright, shrines are getting much more valuable to kill. And the first shrine having 5,000 HP, like you really want to push and get that first shrine. Like that is a massive boon for you. Killing a pair of base guardians now spawns a zipline boosted trooper wave to reinforce your push. Oh, that's interesting. So I guess like these are all basically incentives for you to attack the base sooner and to commit more resources to attacking the base because there's a lot more value. So now I guess the idea is rather than waiting around to get mid boss and then getting mid boss after a fight and then pushing and trying to take everything out at once, this kind of rewards more piecemeal attacking. So if you can just get one pair of base guardians in a push, then you'll get the extra troopers. If you can get one shrine, that'll boost everything else. Excuse me. Okay. Medic troopers DPS grows by 3% per minute. Do other troopers DPS grow? Troopers now gain 7 HP regen when out of combat. What? That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. That makes clearing away. Okay, I need you to understand. This makes clearing wave as a player more valuable than it already is. Clearing wave is already the most valuable thing you can do in this game. This makes it more valuable because the wave that you just saved is now going to be full HP again when they combat the next wave. Trooper wave interval is increased from 25 seconds to 20 seconds, starting at 35 minutes. I guess that basically just puts even more lane pressure at that because they're like, okay, 35 minutes, we want to start wrapping this up, you know. Guardian's bounty increased. I think this means the souls that are granted to the team. So you're going to get more souls for the team by killing a Guardian. Walker's bounty increased. The Walker's health has been rescaled, so the first Walker is easier to kill. The second Walker is easier to kill, and the third Walker is slightly harder to kill. Okay? All of this is telling me that they want games to be shorter. Walker's armor decay rescaled from 75% plus 75% to minus 50% to plus 65% to minus 65% from 20 minutes to over 18 minutes. So this is also making walkers weaker. So walkers have less armor at the start and will end with way less armor in a shorter period of time. Base Guardians bounty increase, so you get more souls from killing base Guardians. Shrines bounty, so you get souls, you didn't get anything. Now you get souls from killing shrines. Mid-boss base bounty is increased, so you get more souls from killing mid-boss earlier. Mid-boss base HP is increased, so it's a little bit harder to kill though. The mid-boss global announcement health threshold reduced from 70% to 50%. This actually gives you more incentive to fight mid-boss without instigating a team fight at the same time. Like you could sneak mid-boss easier now. Mid-boss now has 35% debuff resistance. Okay, I assume that means like the timing. The rejuve drop duration reduced from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. So that means the crystal travels to the floor faster. So again, you can sneak mid-boss faster, easier. Rejuve duration no longer refreshes when hitting a crystal later. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. But, okay. The mini-map now indicates if the urn is favored, neutral, or unfavored. That's good. I would, go and look at it anyway, but it's nice that it's on the map. That's good. Added a neutral camp. 2 normal 3 week at Hidden King Park Walker, and then another one at the yes. Okay, so I did see a little bit of this. Let me go into Explore New York City here. Okay. I think this is the camp over here. Is it this one? Yeah, here we go. This camp right here. So it's 2 tier 2 guys and 3 tier 1 guys. I don't know where they're looking. Why they're looking weirdly, but okay, this is a new camp, and the other one is going to be over here. This one right here. So if I go back to here, yeah, these two neutral camps, and then added 0-way veils underneath the shrine platforms in each base. And in the mid lane bridge above the Hidden King base, entrance more to the middle of the two bases. Okay, we'll go back and look at that in a second. So as far as these camps, these neutral camps, there used to actually be camps on the outside of the walkers in these kind of areas in the past. I know for sure they were on the 4-lane map. I don't know if these existed on the 3-lane map in the past though. So we go back here and look. So yeah, there used to be camps, in these spots by the walkers in the past. Definitely on the 4-lane map. But at some point they got moved. So now we're getting new ones. Also, I'm noticing there's this green on the floor. I think that's it. All right, let me go back and we'll look at Hidden King Base over here. So this bridge moved. I don't know if I noticed any difference here. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, the veils. Okay. So a 0-way veil means I can't see under, and someone who's under can't see out. Oh, that's very interesting, actually. I don't see any difference. Maybe it used to be like against the wall here, and they pushed it back a little bit, I guess. Oh. You also see here this urn. I assume red means unfavored because I'm ahead. So if we go look at the urn, yeah, we can see it's not a favored urn. So red triangle means not favored. I would kind of prefer if they made the arrow point down, so red down arrow and then green up arrow, just to make it slightly more clear. Because up arrow usually means good things. Okay. Back to the patch notes. Subsequent CC reduction increased from 8%, 24% to 10%, 30%. Okay, so they're nerfing stacking CC more. So basically, if you get hit with a CC, you get the full impact of that CC. But if a second CC hits you, then that CC's duration will be reduced by 10%. And then if a third CC hits you, that CC will be reduced by 30%. And that happens within a window of 8 seconds. So they're nerfing stacking CC more. Probably good. It's a thing that players don't often like. I personally don't mind it very much. But, that's a thing that annoys people. Move speed diminishing ramp now occurs around 11 meters rather than 10 meters. I'm not sure what this means. Fixed melee abilities. Um, not using conditional damage based on enemy state. Okay, I have to use the restroom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to be back in a minute. Oh, okay. Really sorry about that. It was one of those emergencies. You know how it is. I was not expecting to have to do that. Okay. All right, move speed diminishing ramp. So I think this is regarding when you like start sprinting. I'll be honest, I don't know. Oh, I was walking here. I'm not sure what move speed diminishing ramp means. But anyway, back to this. Oh, here. Fixed melee abilities not using conditional damage based on enemy state. Close quarters, point blank, opening rounds. Oh. So melee abilities. Oh, melee abilities. Oh, so for example, Bebop's uppercut. So here, and we change Bebop.
He's a good person. Take this. Probably wouldn't condone me participating in bloodsport for money. I, however, am not shackled by human morality and find it a rather entertaining use of my time.
So exploding uppercut deals melee damage. So if I bought um, close quarters, or is that in here? Close quarters, yeah. Wait, what? That says weapon damage though. Melee abilities not using conditional damage based on enemy state. Close quarters.
I got one of those for the missus. Big fan.
What? I don't even understand. And weapon damage. Is melee damage considered weapon damage? I guess so. Street Ball removed the item slot limit. This is kind of cool because we'll see people with like 16 items maybe. Okay. Added a new tier 1 spirit item, the golden goose egg. So I did see this a little bit. Oh, it's an active. So you have passive minus 10% damage penalty, plus 1 meter per second sprint speed, and then plus 1 out of combat region. So the active is hatching the egg, gaining souls and permanent buffs. The value of the egg grows the longer you hold on to it. And you gain a permanent buff for every 200 souls stored. So this is just like a smaller version of Trophy Collector, kind of. It's like a Trophy Collector where you don't have to do something to get the souls. You just hold on to it. Wait, I'm just realizing. Wait, it's 90 souls per minute. So let me use a calculator real quick. 800 divided by 90. Okay, so to get your soul value back, you need to spend 8.8 minutes holding it. So you need to have this item for 8.8 repeating minutes to actually get the 800 souls back that you used to purchase it. But if you consider that in that time, you will also get 4 permanent buffs. And you get the 2 pat. Okay, this actually seems not very good. This item seems like it kind of sucks. But okay. Yeah, this looks like it sucks. This seems not worth it, in my opinion. But anyway, back to the notes. All right, extended magazine. Weapon damage increased from 6% to 8%. High velocity rounds no longer grants 5% fire rate, and it now grants 8% weapon damage. And then high velocity rounds bullet velocity increased from plus 50% to plus 60%. Okay. Long range. Fall off range increased from 4% to 8%. Wait, let me. Okay, I see. So the range at which your weapon starts to fall off is extended. So you have a longer range where you do full damage, basically. Active reload. You can now reload while already full when carrying this item. Oh, okay. That's kind of nice, I guess. So you can basically always have the buff ready when you want to engage, where you don't have to like shoot and then, yeah. Opening rounds, spirit power increased. Wait, they're buffing opening rounds? Spirit power increased to plus 10, and then weapon damage increase. What? Opening rounds, this is already a good item. Okay. Swift Striker, fire rate increased to 20%. Mystic Shot damage spirit scaling increased. Oh, they're buffing the Mystic Shot. Alright. I mean, it probably needs a buff. Split Shot cooldown reduced. Split Shot now supports custom count and angles per hero. And it's now enabled for Celeste. Custom count and angle. Oh. Where's Split Shot? Hello? Am I blind?
We live in interesting times, don't we?
That's not very instructive.
It's gonna be a long day, isn't it? Slay them and grow strong.
Well, someone's looking to make a statement.
Sorry, I'm a little late. Had to finish the chapter I was on.
Hope you win whatever fight you're about to start.
This looks the same. Okay, I'm not really sure. Okay. Someone who actually does proper testing would be able to tell me how this works. And then now it works on Celeste, which it didn't work before because it would be kind of broken. Because you just get auto aim. A Backstabber was renamed to Stalker. So it no longer procs based on the angles of attack, but instead based on doing bullet or melee damage within 8 meters of a hero target. And no longer has a proximity requirement for the overtime bonuses. What does this mean? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shrink this and put it here a little bit. Am I able to... I can do that. And then we can... We'll do that. I'm too lazy to cut off. So you can still see if I'm doing something in the game. Okay, so right here. Damn it, that cuts it off. Can I crop this? Actually, wait, what happens if I do this? Oh. I can modify the window itself. Okay. There, you can just go on the bottom right. Okay, let's do that. All right, Stalker. Dealing weapon damage at close range opens a wound and grants you bonus move speed. Wounded enemies take spirit damage over time, have reduced bullet resist, and are revealed through walls. This item sounds crazy. Oh, the over space time bonuses. Oh, well, this item seems really strong. Alright, melee charge. Heavy melee bonus damage now works with heavy melee abilities. So I think Viscus's punch can deal a heavy melee damage on one of his upgrades.
There's more going on in this world than what you perceive.
Yeah, so Puddle Punch Tier 3 upgrade does heavy melee damage. So that is what that is referring to. Spirit Shredder Bullets. Spirit Lifesteal is increased. Okay. Not a lot of people use that item. Weakening Headshot. Bonus health increased. Ballistic Enchantment. Weapon damage per stack increased. Ballistic Enchantment is the one that grants range. And then you get more weapon damage for dealing damage with your ranged abilities, right? Imbue an ability with increased range. And dealing damage with that ability grants you increased weapon damage. So you get more damage per stack. The range is reduced. Alright. I mean, 30% was crazy, so. And then non-hero weapon damage increased. So you deal... Okay, so... Okay, so if you shoot creeps, you will get additional damage for the creeps, I guess. Hunter's Aura. Solo hero multiplier reduced. Bullet resist reduction increased. And fire rate reduction increased. Weighted shots. It now builds from slowing bullets and has slowing bullets passive. I feel like that makes sense. So where's slowing bullets? Your bullets build up a movement slowing enemies. So now weighted shots also does the same thing. It no longer grants spirit resist. It now grants minus 0.5 meters per second move speed. It no longer grants minus bullet velocity. The debuff resist is increased. The weapon damage is increased. And the stamina reduction is reduced. Basically, you yourself are going to move slower. But you're going to deal more damage. And you're going to make enemies slower. Okay, that actually seems kind of valuable for certain characters. Express Shot. Ammo consumed changed from minus 30% to 2 ammo. Wait, what? I thought it already used 2 ammo. Blood Tribute no longer has healing reduction, and the self-damage was increased. Blood Tribute. Blood Tribute used to grant healing reduction to yourself? Oh, okay. I didn't know how some of these items work. Spirit Rend cooldown is reduced. Oh, headshots, okay. And the Spirit Lifesteal is increased to match the Spirit Shredder bullets. Crushing Fists. The heavy melee bonus damage now works with heavy melee abilities. So if you buy Crushing Fists with Puddle Punch, Puddle Punch will deal 25% extra damage. Ooh. 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 Viscous. Frenzy. Base fire rate increased. Base spirit resist increased. Conditional fire rate reduced. And conditional spirit resist reduced. So they put a bit more power into Frenzy, the base Frenzy item. Okay. Spiritual Overflow, the spirit power increased. Ooh. And Spiritual Overflow now grants 20% duration instead of 12% cooldown reduction. Hmm. Extra ability duration rather than cooldown reduction. Okay. Alright, now the green items. Extra health increased from 185 to 210. They're buffing extra health. This item was already kind of good. Enduring speed. Fixed slow resistance interaction with dash slows. Okay. Restorative Locket range is increased. How does Restorative Locket work? Oh, an enemy uses an ability within range of you. Returning damage now always restores at least 1 stamina, and the max stamina regen is increased from 3 to 4. Restorative Locket seems like a decent item. Return Fire. Returning damage now always hits the target's body. Some amount would miss, and some would be headshots. This actually seems like a buff. And the bullet damage return reduced, so yeah, that's a compensating nerf. This actually seems quite strong. Weapon shielding damage threshold increased, that's a nerf. And the cooldown reduced, that's a buff. So you can proc it more often, but you need to take more damage to proc it by quite a bit. Bullet resilience. Low health threshold increased, but the low health resistance reduced. So you will have the resilience up more often, but it's going to provide a bit less to you. This is probably... I feel like this is kind of a buff, to be honest. Spirit Resilience, the same thing. Life Strike. Heal on melee hit reduced from 160 to 100 plus 1.5 per boon. They boonified Life Strike. So that basically this means Life Strike will be weaker early game, but stronger late game. Heal on melee hit percentage reduced from 50% to 30% plus 0.5% per boon. Yeah, so weaker early game, stronger late game. Majestic Leap got buffed. The barrier increased to 200. I wish they would just like remove the barrier and lower the cooldown again. Trophy Collector. Souls per minute increased to 25. That seems like a significant buff to Trophy Collector. Dispel Magic. The cooldown is reduced. That's good. I like that item. Fortitude. Time to regen reduced. Ooh, buffing Fortitude. They're buffing a lot of green items. Spellbreaker. The high instant damage reduction was reduced. So it's a nerf to Spellbreaker. But it still seems pretty strong. Diviner's Kevlar. Cooldown reduced by 24 seconds. Holy shit. That's really good. This item's already kind of decent for some characters. Like for Pocket, this is a really good item. Inhibitor. Damage penalty reduced. Tell me. Inhibitor. Where is this? Okay, that's a nerfed inhibitor. And the weapon damage bonus increased. Okay, that's a compensating buff. So it doesn't reduce the target's damage as much, but you deal more damage. Cheat Death no longer reduces movement speed by -2 meters per second during the death immunity phase. That's a buff. Colossus Active now grants you an additional plus 30% melee damage. I feel like that's pretty good for Billy, I would imagine. And then Siphon Bullets now steals 2.5% of enemy max HP per bullet instead of a fixed amount. That sounds like a massive buff to Siphon Bullets. Holy shit. If you're a tanky character, you're going to get shredded by that. Okay, the purple items. Mystic Region, health bonus increased, and duration increased. Okay, we're buffing Mystic Region. Wait, sorry, no, the duration is actually a buff factor. That's actually a buff. It's still a buff because you still have the same HP per second. Alright, this is already a pretty good item on Bebop and, like, Geist. And Yamato, I think. Alright, Rusted Barrel cooldown reduced. This item is already good. But okay. Arcane Surge. Spirit powers increased. Okay. I'm not a big Arcane Surge enjoyer, but that seems quite strong. Slowing Hex now sets the gravity of an enemy to a fixed plus 20%, regardless of their own base values. This sounds like a buff. Projectile speed is increased. What? I guess they're saying the projectile of, like, the actual active thing that goes to the enemy. And the cooldown is reduced. Suppressor. Debuff duration increased. That is a buff. Spirit's Sap. Spirit power loss increased. That's a buff. And then cooldown reduced by almost half. Holy shit. Massive buff to Spirit Sap. And this is already built into Focus Lens as well. Holy shit. Alright. Decay. Healing reduction increased. More buffs. God. Silence Wave. Damage Spirit Scaling increased. And the cooldown reduced, so Silence Wave is going to do a lot of damage now. 100 base damage that scales with Spirit. Holy shit. Knockdown. Gravity increased. Causes airborne targets to fall faster. Oh. That's good. I like that. Radiant regeneration health bonus increased. Duration increased to match Mystic Regen. And then Radiant Regen healing on ability cast boon scaling increased to 2. Oh. But this is even better on Bebop. Wow. Tank Bop really is the best build now. Tank Buster. Current health bonus damage increased. Right, they slightly buff Tank Buster. I still think Tank Buster personally is a quite strong item. Torment Pulse. Damage spirit scaling reduced. And then no longer hits sleeping enemies. So this is actually, well, the second one is technically a buff, but only marginally. But this first one is a bit of a nerf. I guess that makes sense because Torment Pulse is so strong on like Rem and maybe even Celeste as well. Alright, Disarming Hex. Cooldown reduced. That's good. That's a strong item. Magic Carpet duration increased. Bonus health increased. Okay. Ethereal Shift cooldown reduced. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cursed Relic damage penalty increased. And Vortex Web now it has a unit target option. Ooh, I actually really like that. Alright. Heroes. So, apparently some heroes have been reworked. Which will be interesting to read about. So, let's just go through the list.
No one's killing me.
Abrams. Alright. Bullet damage reduced from 3.86 plus 0.13 per boon to 3.6 plus 0.1 per boon. So this is like a quite significant nerf to Abrams' bullet damage. Because his base is smaller and he gains less per boon. Siphon Life DPS reduced. Siphon Life range reduced. Siphon Life is now circular, so it's all around him. Siphon Life range no longer increases with spirit power. So this is a nerf, a nerf. This is a buff. This is a nerf. Siphon Life visual range effects fixed to show larger than default radius values. So is not a buff or a nerf, but I guess better information conveyed. Siphon Life lifesteal against heroes increased. This is a buff. Siphon Life lifesteal against non-heroes increased. That's a buff. Siphon Life DPS spirit scaling increased. That's a buff. Siphon Life Tier 1 increased to minus 20 seconds. That's a buff. Siphon Life Tier 3 now also increases the radius by 3.5 meters. That's a buff. And Siphon Life Tier 3 DPS reduced to 18. That's a nerf. Okay, so I guess the idea is Siphon Life is going to be dealing less damage, and you have to be closer to the enemies to actually get value from it, but it's going to heal you more. So yeah. This is just kind of like a readjustment of the ability. Alright, shoulder charge, damage reduced. Shoulder charge, wall stun duration reduced. Oh. Should charge spirit scaling reduced. Shoulder charge tier 1 is changed from 2.2 weapon damage for 8 seconds to 40% slow for 3 seconds. What? Applies 40% slow. Oh. Okay. That's kind of evil. Charge tier 2 wall stun duration increased. So this is basically there so that you can still have your guaranteed heavy melee after charging. Shoulder charge tier 3 increased. Yeah, cooldown. That is a buff. And then shoulder charge tier 3 now also grants 1.5 weapon damage for 6 seconds. So they moved this tier 1 ability basically to tier 3. Oh, on Hero Collide. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Alright. Infernal Resilience tier 2 increased to 200 HP. That's a buff. Does it just guarantee that raw? Yes. Infernal Resilience Tier 3 now also grants extra debuff resistance. That's a buff. Seismic Impact is a little faster to target the location when rising. Seismic Impact damage increased. Seismic Impact now allows you to use items during it. Ooh, that's interesting. Can you use E-Shift? Or something like that? Seismic Impact radius reduced. Seismic Impact Tier 2 changed from per hero hit plus 100 HP and 14% fire rate to 0.6 stun duration. And the Tier 3 now also increases the radius by 6 meters. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Apollo.
My father doesn't have high expectations for me. He has appropriate expectations for me. After all, when you're the best, why shouldn't you expect success?
So true. Alright, Apollo. Fixed riposte not leaving the ground when started on the ground. Riposte no longer triggers from trooper or neutral damage. That's actually a big nerf. Because he could use that for movement. Flawless Advance Tier 2 no longer increases his lunge speed. I assume that's a nerf. Flawless Advance now gets interrupted by stun and sleep. That's good. That's a nerf. Itani Losan base damage reduced and spirit scaling increased. And then Itani Losan's hit width no longer scales with radius increases. That's good. I don't like how wide that ability is anyway, so glad that it can it doesn't get wider. This is a little spooky though. The base damage is smaller, but that's a massive increase in spirit scaling. Okay, Bebop.
Shelley's taking a nap. I've probably got enough time to contact some godlike creature.
Hook can be cancelled. Oh, wait, let me... So if I don't cancel... Wait, let me...
I see someone appreciates fine craftsmanship.
What? I don't understand. Is it after I hit someone? What?
You do way over there, right?
How do I do this? Hook can now be cancelled. What do I press to cancel it?
No one escapes me.
What? I don't even understand. Let me actually look at the... Okay, this is just not. Fucking. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Oh,
Not so fast.
oh, I press space after they get hooked.
Come on, meet my mates. Come a little closer, mate.
Okay, I'm not sure why I would want to do that, but I guess I can do it. Billy, bash down radius reduced. Alright, that's a nerf.
People ask me if I'm angry all the time, and it's like, yeah, I'm pissed. Why aren't you?
Okay. Bash down tier 2 changed from 1.3 radius to 1 charge and 2 radius. That's a big buff. Bash down tier 3 now also reduces charge time by 2 seconds. What? Oh, okay, that's a buff. Rising ram damage reduced. Rising damage spirit scaling increased. Rising ram cooldown reduced on impact. Rising ram charge duration reduced. So these are buffs. This is a nerf. I'm not sure about this. I don't know if you're going the same distance in shorter time or if you're going a shorter distance. Rising ram tier 1 changed from on impact minus cooldown to on impact additional weapon damage. So they just put this tier 1 into the base ability. Oh my god. Plus weapon damage for 5 seconds. Rising ram tier 2 changed from on impact weapon damage to additional charge duration. Oh. Okay. Rising ram tier 3 increased to 8% max health. Blasted spirit scaling reduced. Blasted active duration no longer slows down the decay when doing bullet damage. That's a nerf. Blasted passive no longer reduces enemy fire rate. That's a nerf. Blasted tooltip is simplified. Blasted tier 3 now also increases the spirit scaling. Chain gang radius reduced. Chain gang no longer grants spirit and bullet resist. Chain gang cooldown increased. These are all nerfs. Chain gang tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to spirit and bullet resist. So they took this out of the base kit and put it into his tier 1. Chain gang tier 2, now instead of granting more spirit and bullet resist, now gets the cooldown from the tier 1. And then Chain gang tier 3 changed from 2 seconds of unstoppable to 1.3 seconds of unstoppable for each hero pulled in. Ooh, okay, that's kind of spicy. Chain gang tier 3 no longer grants additional damage. And then Chain gang tier 3 now also increases the radius. Oh, interesting. Alright, Calico.
Hello, darlings.
Okay. Bullets no longer have gravity. Did Calico's bullets have, like, drop off before? Now fires an additional pellet right down the center. The center pellet is now considered the primary pellet for headshots. Interesting. So it looks like there's random spread. I don't know if it's random actually. Gloom bombs changed so the first grenade always lands in the middle. Gloom bombs projectile sticky radius increased. It's a buff. Gloom bombs cast delay reduced. That's a buff. Gloom bombs tier 2 changed from plus 16.2 damage to plus 75 bonus damage versus barriers. Leaping slash improved targeting of dash to end early if near enemy heroes. Oh, okay. So this fixes the thing where you would dash right next to someone and it wouldn't hit them. Leaping slash can now dash vertically, even while on the ground. Yeah, you would have to jump. You would have to be in the air to do that before. Leaping slash tier 2 changed from additional damage to additional souls on hero kill. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Leaping slash tier 3 changed from minus cooldown reduction on hit to minus cooldown reduction and 60. What? On hero hit, 50% cooldown refund. And it just, oh. It's the extra damage from the tier 2 gets moved over to the tier 3. Okay. And then the radius is reduced by 0.5 meters. Okay. Ava can no longer manipulate movement if meleeing while midair. Ava now uses health bar modifier style for duration. Health bar? What the fuck does that mean?
Time to move.
I don't know what happens. I don't know. Ava, fixed camera not being centered around Ava. Ava melee attack delay reduced. Ava melee attack cooldown increased. Ava melee attack now goes the way you are looking. Ava now starts at a minimum speed and increases to maximum speed over time, resetting on taking damage. Ava now gradually recovers speed over time after taking damage rather than being slowed for the entire duration. Ava cooldown reduced. Ava duration reduced. Ava tier 1 duration increased. Ava tier 2 changed from extra speed to extra speed and extra regen. Ava tier 3 changed from minus cooldown and extra regen to a growing damage amp the longer you are transformed, up to 20% for 6 seconds. That seems crazy strong. Return to Shadows now allows for some vertical flank movement. Okay. Return to Shadows now has new channel bar. Return to Shadows, tier 2 reduced damage. Return to Shadows, tier 3 no longer grants damage amp, but grants healing instead. Because now the damage amp got moved into Ava. Interesting. Okay. Celeste.
Coney is safe, comfortable, but I've outgrown it. And fear can't be the only thing keeping me there.
Gravity reduced from minus 20% to minus 28%, so less gravity. Yep. That's definitely less gravity. Air control and acceleration reduced from plus 50 and 18% to plus 38 and 12%. So less air control. I did notice she was going slower. So you have more gravity, or sorry, less gravity, so you float more, but you move slower in the air, and you can control yourself less in the air. It definitely makes her feel more floaty, actually, this way. She feels floatier. Shining Wonder bounce range reduced, that's good. Shining Wonder linger duration reduced, that's good. Okay, yeah, those are both good. Her ultimate was really, really strong. Okay. Doorman. Oh my goodness, a lot of changes to Doorman. This is going to be so long, bro.
It's important to never overlook the help.
So, Doorman. Gun now pierces through targets at 50% reduced damage. Similar to Page. Page also has piercing gun. Call Bell time between charges increased. That's a nerf. Call Bell no longer has impact damage. That's a nerf. I think that's probably for the best because there was a weird shit you could do with that. Call Bell explosion damage increased. That's a buff. Call Bell explosion damage spirit scaling reduced. A nerf. Call Bell tier 1 increased from 2 meters to 2.5 meters. That's a buff. Call Bell tier 2 no longer has impact damage. Call Bell tier 2 explosion damage increased. That's a buff. The impact damage is a nerf. Call Bell tier 2 now increases spirit scaling by 0.6 to go to 2.0. That's a big buff. Call Bell tier 3 changed from impact causes half radius explosions to +1 charge and 22-second lifetime. The radius to continuously apply slow. Ooh, okay. That's a... well, it's different, so... this just seems like much stronger. That seems really good. Doorway now has a timer icon above the ability. That's good, so you know once the doorways, both doors have been opened, you know how long you have. Doorway tier 1 duration increased. That's a big buff. Doorway tier 2 barrier duration increased. That's a buff. Doorway tier 3 doorway distance scales with spirit power. That's a buff. Holy shit, they massively buffed the doorway. Luggage cart is now 20% larger with a 20% wider hitbox. That's a buff. Luggage cart tier 1 changed from -8 second cooldown to +60 damage. That's probably overall a nerf. Luggage cart tier 2 is increased from 15 meter cast range to 20 meters. That seems like a buff. I think it carries you farther. And then luggage cart tier 3 changed from +45 cart damage and 117 wall damage and 1.2 second wall stun to 1.5 second wall stun and -15 second cooldown. Oh. So the cart damage here got moved from the tier 3 to the tier 1, and the tier 1 cooldown got moved up to the tier 3. And then the wall damage was removed entirely. Alright, fixed issues where the cart would hit a target coming out of the hotel before they are supposed to be allowed to be hit, causing the cart to not properly drag the target. It sounds like a buff fix. Okay. Hotel guest cast range increased. Buff. Hotel guest no longer goes on cooldown if the target dies during the cast. What? This is an insane buff. Oh, wait. Sorry. Okay. I thought this meant if the target dies in the hotel. No. If they die during the cast. Okay, yes. That's just a quality of life good. It's still a buff, but it's not. Hotel guest fixed enemies not always landing in the correct spot on return. Hotel guest now supports instant cast settings. Okay. Hotel guest returning guest now has a 100% time slow that decays to 0% over 1 second. Okay. Hotel guest cost of stay damage reduced. Hotel guest failure to check out damage reduced. So it deals less damage. Hotel guest tier 1 changed from +2 meter cast range to -1 stamina and -25% cooldown. Ooh, okay. Hotel guest chain tier 2 changed from unstoppable while channeling to 1.5 second stun on failure to check out and 150. Whoa! Okay. So now, for your tier 2 upgrade, if the person fails to escape from the hotel, they'll get 1.5 second stun when they get out. And they'll take 150 damage. Oh my god. And that's on top of the 125 that they're already taking. Wow, okay. Hotel guest tier 3 changed from -50 second cooldown to unstoppable while hotel is occupied and 10 second cooldown on failure to check out. Oh, this must have already been tweaked. So, basically, if you send someone into the hotel for the entire duration of when the enemy is in the hotel, you have unstoppable. That seems insane to me. And then also, if the enemy fails to get out of the hotel, you have a 10-second cooldown, so you can just throw them right back in there? Oh my god. Alright, Doorman is now like a noob stomp character. Doorman players will be like the bane of like initiate players. They're just going to be stuck in the hotel the whole game. And he's going to be unstoppable the whole time. This is a crazy buff. Okay, holy shit. The Doorman, this is like a massive... Doorman seems way stronger after this patch. This is like a massive buff to Doorman.
Can't wait to see how Manhattan's changed in a generation.
Alright. Drifter. Rend damage range reduced, nerf. Rend cooldown increased, nerf. Rend damage spirit scaling increased, buff. Rend bonus damage is now the melee range at close range. Wait, what the fuck? If the enemy is in close... Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Rend tier 1 bonus damage increased, buff. Rend tier 3 changed from bullet lifesteal to a silence. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Stalker's mark duration reduced, that's a nerf. Stalker's mark tier 1 changed from bleed to... Wait, what? I don't even know what 1% bleed means. Oh. So rather than giving additional dot damage, it now has minus bullet resist. Okay. Stalker's mark tier 2 changed from plus fire rate after ambush to plus duration and minus cooldown. Okay. And then Stalker's mark tier 3 changes from enables 2 charges and plus duration to plus bleed and minus 40% healing. So now this is it can never be, it will, not never, but it's no longer, it can't be a charged ability normally anymore. Okay. Blood Sentinel grants Drifter the same amount of permanent bonus weapon damage when an isolated hero dies nearby, whether Drifter gets the assist or the kill. Ooh, that's a strong buff. Blood Scent permanent bonus weapon damage gained for isolated hero death reduced from 4 to 3%. Okay, that's a nerf. Blood Scent tier 2 changed from isolated kill reduces cooldowns by 15 seconds and restores 3 stamina to isolated death restores 18% in missing health and restores 2 stamina. Okay. Eternal Night now makes the targets be considered as isolated. Whoa! Okay. So you can be in a team fight and still get a bunch of extra damage. Eternal Night sprint reduced, so you don't go as fast. Eternal Night no longer has 7 spirit damage proc. Okay. Eternal Night cooldown increased. Eternal Night duration reduced. Nerfs. Eternal Night tier 1 changed from plus spirit damage proc to plus sprint. Whoa! You'll be super speed. Eternal Night tier 2 changed from minus cooldown and plus sprint to just minus cooldown because the sprint is now part of the tier 1. And then Eternal Night tier 3 increased from plus duration and +1 target to more duration. Okay, that's just a raw buff. Oh my goodness. What I did notice, I was kind of scrolling quickly before. I didn't read anything, but I did notice so far every character on the list has gotten some change. Now Bebop got the smallest; he only had one hook cancel. Everyone else has had substantial changes. I did notice Grey Talon has no changes though, which I'm like pretty happy about. I think it's because for Bebop and Grey Talon, they did all of their like tinkering with those characters previously. So, okay, Dynamo, bullet damage proc. Bullet damage increased to. Okay, that's a lot. So Dynamo has a lot more bullet damage. Kinetic pulse cooldown increased, nerf. Kinetic pulse damage increased, buff. Kinetic pulse range reduced, nerf. Kinetic pulse range no longer increases with spirit scaling. That's a massive nerf. And then kinetic pulse spirit scaling increased, so that's a big increase, so it's going to do a lot more damage. Kinetic pulse tier 1 changed from move slow and minus fire rate to just one charge. And then kinetic pulse tier 2 changed from plus bullet damage to reduces enemy bullet resistance and move speed. Okay, so that tier 1 got moved into the tier 2. And then so this makes it more of a supportive ability, by the way, because on the first one, Dino himself is going to do more damage against someone hit by kinetic pulse, but now his whole team is going to deal more damage to the enemy. So this is kind of a supportive. It's more supportive. Kinetic pulse tier 3 changed from plus damage and charge to plus damage and more range. Okay, that makes sense. Quantum entanglement no longer grants fire rate. I like that. I never really liked that it existed on that ability. Quantum entanglement no longer reloads ammo. Quantum entanglement's base ability now restores 1 stamina. Quantum entanglement allied distance increased. That's good. Quantum entanglement range increased. That's good. Quantum entanglement tier 1 increased range. Quantum entanglement tier 2 changed from additional fire rate to minus cooldown. That's good, I think. Quantum entanglement tier 3 changed from minus cooldown and extra ammo to dispels non-ult debuffs. You know, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I like that. Alright, rejuvenating aura cooldown increased. Rejuvenating aura now has a 1-second linger on allies, similar to the McGinnis heal. Rejuvenating aura now lets you jump while using it, so spacebar is not going to cancel it. Rejuvenating aura tier 1 changed from plus move speed for 8 seconds after full. What the hell? I didn't even know that was a thing. To aura provides plus 4 move speed. Oh, so now you get the move speed during the channel rather than after it. That's really weird. Rejuvenating aura tier 2 cooldown increase. That's a buff. Rejuvenating aura tier 2 now also increases duration. Alright, that's good. Alright, singularity no longer does 1.5% max health DPS and instead does just 75 DPS. That's a big nerf. But the DPS spirit scaling is increased by 0.09. And then singularity tier 3 increased. Okay, so they put more power, or they put the base max HP DPS into the tier 3. Okay. So singularity is now weaker early game, but it'll be a little bit stronger late game. Okay. Graves.
Of course I'll help.
That's it. Grasping Hands is now set up to work through proper alternate cast methods and be more responsive. Okay. Grasping Hands immobilize duration reduced. Grasping Hands cooldown reduced. Grasping Hands Tier 2 changed from plus immobilize duration to plus damage and plus wall length. And then Grasping Hands Tier 3 changed from plus wall length and minus cooldown to plus immobilize duration and minus cooldown. So they kind of swapped those two little bits. Okay. Next up is Haze. So Grey Talon, completely untouched.
I dedicated my life to the OSIC. I won't fail them.
I like Haze being all hunched over. Okay. Spirit per boon reduced by a lot. Okay. Sleep Dagger Sleep move speed reduced. Sleep Dagger Wake Up delay no longer increases with spirit scaling. I didn't even know that was a thing. Sleep Dagger cooldown increased. Sleep Dagger sleep duration reduced. Sleep Dagger Tier 1 changed from remove stamina to minus bullet resist for 6 seconds. Okay, I like that. I absolutely despise abilities that remove stamina, so I like this. Sleep Dagger Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown and minus stamina recovery, I guess, to just minus cooldown. So it looks like they're getting rid of things that like hamper your stamina, which I like, because that's one of the most frustrating things for me. Sleep Dagger Tier 3 changed from minus bullet resist and minus fire rate on wake up to plus sleep duration, minus 50% move speed, and dash slow on wake up. Okay, I like that. Smoke Bomb cooldown increased. Smoke Bomb duration spirit scaling reduced. Smoke Bomb no longer has base invis sprint speed. Okay. Smoke Bomb Tier 1 increased invis sprint speed, so they just moved that entirely into the Tier 1. Smoke Bomb Tier 2 changed from bullet lifesteal to 2 ability charges. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Smoke Bomb Tier 3 changed from enables charges and grants invincibility to dispels non-ult debuffs and grants lifesteal. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, sorry, that just got moved from the Tier 2 into the Tier 3. Okay. And instead of an invincibility, it cleanses you. Alright, Fixation reduced from 0.2 weapon damage per stack to 0.18. That's a nerf. Fixation Tier 1 spirit scaling increased. What? Oh, maybe that got changed. Huh. Fixation Tier 1 reduced. Fixation Tier 3 increased weapon damage. Alright, Bullet Dance. Fire rate bonus reduced. Bullet Dance base ability has now 60% evasion. That makes sense, I think. Bullet Dance duration spirit scaling increased. Bullet Dance bonus bullet damage reduced. Ooh. Bullet Dance Tier 1 increased from increased bullet damage. Bullet Dance Tier 2 now increases fire rate. Bullet Dance Tier 3 no longer adds the bullet evasion because that's the base now. And then Bullet Dance Tier 3 now also fires at an additional target. Alright, Infernus. Oh my god, this is going to take me forever. Oh, Holiday also received 0 changes.
Sometimes, you gotta go to extremes to help your friends.
Napalm damage reduced. Napalm damage spirit scaling increased. Napalm amplified damage taken reduced. Napalm, that seems like overall like a base nerf to Napalm. Napalm Tier 2 lifesteal increased. Flame Dash DPS spirit scaling increased. That's a little scary. Flame Dash Tier 1 changed from minus fire rate to minus cooldown. Flame Dash Tier 2 DPS reduced. Flame Dash Tier 2 DPS increases trail duration. Okay. Flame Dash Tier 3 no longer reduces cooldown, but now grants +1 charge. And then Flame Dash Tier 3 time between charges is reduced. Melee can now build up Afterburn. That's I like that, that's nice. Afterburn Tier 1 changed from minus spirit damage to plus DPS. I like that. Afterburn Tier 2 changed from plus burn duration to minus spirit damage. Oh, never mind. I don't like that. Afterburn Tier 3 changed from plus DPS to plus max burn duration. Alright, all this talking is making my allergies act up. Concussive combustion cast now causes camera to move back a bit. Concussive combustion delay increased. Concussive combustion radius reduced. These are nerfs. Concussive combustion cooldown increased. Nerf. Concussive combustion damage reduced. Nerf. Concussive combustion Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus damage. Concussive combustion Tier 2 changed from plus stun and plus radius to minus cooldown and 65% explosion heal. Oh. And then concussive combustion Tier 3 damage changed from plus damage and heal to plus stun and radius. Okay, oh, sorry, they just like swapped. They just moved them around. So the damage from the Tier 3 got moved down to the Tier 1. The cooldown from the Tier 1 got moved to the Tier 2. And then the stun and the radius from the Tier 2 got moved to the Tier 3, and then the heal from the Tier 3 got moved to the Tier 2. So they just kind of shuffled them all around and slightly changed their values. Okay. IB.
Pair me up with the right person and this will be over in no time.
So Ivy now has minus 10% gravity. So she floats a little. Bullet damage reduced. Kudzu Bomb has been renamed to Entangling Thorns? Why? Okay. Entangling Thorns recharge time reduced. That's a buff. Entangling Thorns spirit scaling reduced. That's a nerf. Entangling Thorns tier 2 changed from plus duration to plus radius and increases spirit scaling. And then Entangling Thorns tier 3 changed from plus DPS and plus radius to entangles enemies that remain in it for 2 seconds. Is that an immobilize? What?
I'm doing what I can.
Wait, it's... Oh, okay, it says here, it's an immobilize. Yeah, sorry, it's an immobilize. Watcher's Covenant is renamed to Kudzu Connection. Okay. Kudzu... Does she...
Rapid growth. I'll get him.
Okay, so they disabled the lines where she says Kudzu Bomb. Alright, Kudzu Connection. Fire rate, spirit scaling reduced. Kudzu Connection, bullet lifesteal, spirit scaling reduced. Kudzu Connection tier 1 changed from fire rate to move speed bonus. Kudzu Connection tier 2 changed from move speed bonus to fire rate and bullet lifesteal. Kudzu Connection tier 3 changed from plus tether count to ability is now always active? What the fuck? That's crazy. But also really cool. Stone form cooldown increased. Stone form damage spirit scaling reduced. Stone form tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus max health heal. Stone form tier 2 changed from plus damage and stun to minus cooldown. And then Stone Form Tier 3 changed from plus max health heal to stun and increased spirit scaling. Alright, airdrop cast time removed.
Lifting off.
Oh. Yeah, it's instant. That seems quite strong. But also, because of this, it seems you can't really use this to run away anymore. Which is probably for the best. Alright, spirit damage scaling reduced. Cooldown reduced. Duration increased. Speed is... So the base speed decreased, but the max speed increased. Bomb radius increased. Buff duration reduced. Ally cast range increased. Grants you and your ally plus damage after dropping. Bomb no longer has a fast explode expanding behavior. Bomb no longer causes a knock-up. Bomb no longer slows on explode. Bomb no longer provides barrier by default. Alright, airdrop tier 1 changed from minus bullet resist on enemies hit to grants you and your ally a barrier. Tier 2 changed from plus barrier and explode radius to explode applies slow. And the tier 3 also now increases damage scaling and barrier scaling. Okay. Calvin.
I'm feeling good about this, yes?
Oh, this is way longer than I was expecting. Frost Grenade now impacts on Ice Path. Frost Grenade radius reduced. Frost Grenade cooldown increased. Frost Grenade now comes with 2 charges. That's really nice. Frost Grenade grade now heals in the base ability. Frost Grenade no longer has minus stamina regen. Frost Grenade tier 1 changed from +1 charge to increases damage and heal. Frost Grenade tier 2 changed from provides healing to freezes stamina regen and a minus 10-second cooldown. Freezes stamina regen? Frost Grenade tier 3 changed from extra damage and minus stamina regen to increases damage and heal spirit scaling and radius. Whoa. Ice Path is now cancelled on the ability button press instead of space. Okay. Ice Path cooldown increased. Ice Path incline decline speed increased, so you can go up and down faster. Ice Path tier 1 changed from plus sprint to plus move speed and bullet resistance. And then Ice Path tier 2 increased from minus cooldown. That's good. And then Ice Path tier 3 grants you just 35% spirit power. Okay. Arctic Beam visual clarity on VFX improved.
I got them!
Ice Beam now lets you cast Frost Grenade and items while using it. That's really strong. Arctic Beam max fire rate reduction reduced. Arctic Beam max slow reduced. Arctic Beam spirit scaling reduced. Arctic Beam cooldown increased. Arctic Beam tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to increases move slow and fire rate reduction. Arctic Beam tier 2 changed from plus DPS to plus DPS and spirit scaling. Arctic Beam tier 3 now also reduces the cooldown. Frozen Shelter can now be cancelled first without cancelling Ice Beam. Okay. Frozen Shelter is now 8 meters unit target. Creates the dome around the center of both heroes. Can be self-casted to create it around yourself. What? Okay, that's really weird, but okay. Frozen Shelter duration reduced. Frozen Shelter tier 1 changed from minus enemy fire rate to minus cooldown. Uh-oh. Frozen Shelter tier 2 increased duration, I think? And then Frozen Shelter tier 3 now also dispels debuffs on cast. Interesting. That seems like kind of a buff to Frozen Shelter, okay. Lady Geist.
I didn't sell my soul. I saved my life.
Okay, buddy. Essence Bomb self-damage changed. Essence Bomb radius reduced. That's good. Essence Bomb cooldown reduced. Essence Bomb tier 1 increased. Okay. Essence Bomb tier 2 also increases. Alright. Life Drain cooldown increased. Life Drain break range reduced. Life Drain tier 1 DPS increased. Life Drain tier 2 duration increased. Life Drain tier 3 charges increased. Life Drain tier 3 now also increases spirit scaling. Soul Exchange cast time reduced. Soul Exchange post cast hold time reduced. Soul Exchange tier 1 cooldown increased. Okay. Soul Exchange tier 2 changed from on-cast fire rate up to silences enemies within 25 meters? That's a little scary. Soul Exchange tier 3 changed from... Oh, that was already a thing. Silence enemies to extra spirit power, fire rate, and spirit resistance. Okay. Lash.
Reason 26. I'm better than Bebop. Only one of us has an impossibly dashing mustache.
You know what? That is true. Increase sparkle, so the sparkles around his face are back. Fixed ground strike against players brought down from midair, not doing damage. Grapple tier 2 weapon damage increased. Grapple tier 3 changed from plus fire rate to plus air control and stamina on usage. That's nice, I like that. Log cooldown increased. Log attack angle no longer increases with spirit power. Ooh. That's interesting. Flog heal versus heroes reduced. Flog tier 2 increased cooldown. Flog tier 2 now also reduces fire rate. Flog tier 3 no longer reduces fire rate. Flog tier 3 damage is reduced, and Flog tier 3 now increases attack angle. Ah, okay. Fixed Death Slam camera, sometimes being obstructed. Fixed Death Slam throw distance no longer scales with spirit power. Death Slam cooldown increased. Death Slam tier 1 throw distance increased. Death Slam tier 2 cooldown increased. And then Death Slam tier 3 now also increases the cast range. So also, his parry is now blocking with his chest. So extra. Okay, McGinnis.
Ethics are for scientists that can't think big enough.
Stamina speed bucket 3 to 2. That means she... I think that means her stamina, her dash is better, I think. Bullet damage reduced. Mini turret duration increased. Mini turret base health and health growth reduced. Mini turret's initial fading resist start value increased. Mini turrets now have melee resist. Mini turret tracking angle and projectile speeds improved. Mini turret on the minimap now flash and turn red when they are attacking. Oh, okay. Mini turret tier 1 changed from turrets apply slow to plus attack range and DPS. Mini turret tier 2 changed from attack range and fire rate to plus charges. And then mini turret tier 3 changed from plus DPS and plus turret lifetime to plus turret fire rate and plus turret lifetime. Medicinal Spectre duration no longer scales with spirit power. Medicinal Spectre radius no longer scales with spirit power. Medicinal Spectre region now scales with spirit power, so you heal faster. That's kind of spooky, actually. Medicinal Spectre cooldown increased. Medicinal Spectre no longer provides stamina recovery. Tier 1 changed from fire rate to spirit resistance. Tier 2 increased cooldown. Tier 2 also increases stamina recovery. Tier 3 reduced the max HP, but now it also increases the radius and the duration. Spectral Wall that is mid-cast will now fire when you are interrupted, rather than continue to expand. I feel like that's good. I feel like I like that better. Spectral Wall segments can now be destroyed with 2 heavy melee hits. I like that. That's like May Wall. I think that's for the best. I like that. The minimum range reduced. That's a buff, to be honest. Spectral Wall applies a slow to enemies it passes through while being summoned. Whoa! That's really strong. Tier 1 no longer drains its stamina. The damage amp is increased. Tier 2 increases the duration. And Tier 3 changed from plus stun to creates 2 turrets. And increases slow. So they remove the stun, which is, I like that. That's crazy though. Heavy barrage duration reduced. Heavy barrage minimum range reduced. That's a buff. Heavy Tier 1 tooltip updated to clarify it also reduces dash distance. Tier 1 move slow reduced. Tier 1 dash slow increased. Tier 1 slow duration reduced. Tier 2 cooldown reduction increased. Tier 2 increases duration. Tier 3 damage increased. Tier 3 spirit scaling increased. Tier 3 grants extra explosion radius. I think they want, especially when you take that and you combine that with her bullet damage nerf, I think they want people to build more spirit on McGinnis. Especially with the regen spirit scaling as well. Because people have just basically been building McGinnis almost all gun. Alright, Mina.
Summoning the patrons never looked this good.
Second. I'm just taking a moment to eat a little bit. Okay. Mina, stamina cooldown increased. That's good. Mina already had the strongest stamina. Rake cooldown increased. Rake hero hit missing health as damage increased. Rake heal per kill reduced. Rake heal per kill spirit scaling reduced. More nerfs. Rake tier 1 changed from plus heal per kill to plus damage. Rake tier 2 changed from plus damage and plus heal per kill spirit scaling to plus heal per kill and minus cooldown. And then Rake tier 3 provides extra heal per kill spirit scaling. Sanguine Retreat, cast range reduced, recast window increased. Tier 1 changed from cast range to fire rate and bullets. Tier 2 changed from fire rate and bullets to minus cooldown. And the tier 3 changed from minus cooldown to wait, +1 recast? What? You can do it 3 times with the tier 3? That's evil. That's actually evil. Love Bite's cooldown increased. Good. Love Bite's damage reduced. Good. Love Bite's damage spirit scaling increased. Oh, okay. Love Bite's bonus damage reduced. That's nice. Love Bite's bonus damage spirit scaling increased. Oh, okay. Tier 1 changed from on proc plus move speed to on proc 30% slow. That's evil! What the fuck? Love Bite's tier 2 damage and bonus reduced. And then tier 3 changed from on proc minus stamina and 30% slow to minus cooldown and plus fire rate. Okay. That, you know what, that's good. I like that. They're removing all the stuff that removes stamina from you. I like that. Alright, Nox Nostra cooldown increased. Nox Nostra damage reduced. Tier 1 increased. And then Tier 2 cooldown increased. Okay, that's fine. Mirage!
We all have a destiny. The only question is, do you have the courage to face it?
Bullet damage reduced. Fire scarabs no longer have a limited duration to launch each one. Functions as a normal charged ability. Alright, I like that. I like that. Collision and model size increased. Base charges reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. The scarabs now immediately steal the health from the target. Max health steal increased. Changed from minus bullet resist to damage amp. Ooh, that's spicy. And then cooldown increased. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus max health steal. Tier 2 changed from minus bullet resist to plus charges. And then Tier 3 changed from plus max health steal to plus more damage amp and spirit scaling. And scarabs no longer have a reduced effect against non. That is crazy. Okay. That's really scary damage. Alright, Tornado renamed to Dust Devil. Dust Devil lift duration reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. It now slows affected enemies. Bullet evasion duration increased. Bullet evasion increased. Tier 1 changed from plus lift duration to plus damage. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown to minus cooldown and evasion. And Tier 3 changed from plus bullet something to can recast within 5 seconds and increases spirit scaling. Wow. Jin's mark cooldown increased. Multiplier duration increased. Reveal duration increased. Tooltip rewritten to be based on a per stack basis. A stack increases the damage by 200%. Tier 1 changed from slow on 2 stacks to fading slow. Okay. Tier 2 increased damage. Tier 3 cooldown increased. Tier 3 now also stuns at max stacks. Whoa. These are like massive Mirage buffs. Traveler cooldown reduced. Traveler can now be cast while on the zip line. It no longer channels. It has a 3-second delay before teleporting. Taking damage interrupts the ability. Oh, so you can't, again, it's like Ivy, you can't use it to escape. And now targets a location on the minimap rather than units. It places you at ground level. Alright, I think that's honestly a buff, to be honest. No longer grants move speed and fire rate. Tier 1 changed from move speed and minus cooldown to just more move speed. And then Tier 2 changed from grants that buff to your allies to you get a barrier with spirit scaling. And then Tier 3 is changed from unstoppable to just minus cooldown. Okay. Bow and Krill. We're over halfway, but like, oh my god.
Package deal.
Scorn damage reduced. Scorn radius reduced. Spirit scaling increased. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus damage. Tier 2 changed from plus damage to minus cooldown and radius. And plus radius. Oh yeah, Burrow now lets you enter the tunnels. That was a new sound effect. Those are new sound effects for Burrow. Burrow cooldown increased. Tier 1 changed from plus duration to plus spin DPS. Tier 2 changed from plus spin DPS and radius to plus spin radius and plus Burrow time, so duration. Burrow Tier 3 increased move speed. Tier 3 cooldown reduction increased. Sandblast cooldown reduced. Duration reduced. Range reduced. Tier 1 changed from plus duration to plus damage and range. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown to slows target move speed and dash distance. Tier 3 changed from slows target move speed and dash distance to plus duration and minus cooldown. Okay. So it seems like a lot of what they've been doing is taking certain things and putting them into the base ability, or taking things from the base ability out and like pushing them into abilities, like the AP upgrades. So they've been kind of shifting the power around within abilities between the base and the upgrades by a lot. Combo cooldown increased by a lot. Combo DPS increased. Tier 1 changed from bullet resist to lifesteal. And then Tier 2 changed from duration to DPS and bullet resist. And then Tier 3 changed from DPS and lifesteal to duration and cooldown. Yeah, so they're just all moving around the pieces and then modifying the values based on Tier 1, 2, 3. Okay. For Paige, I did see this earlier today.
This is gonna make for one hell of a story.
So, Conjure Dragon renamed to Bookworm. But you know what? Fair enough. Bookworm fixed initial location not starting where you click it. Oh, I like that actually. So before, what it would do is you choose your spot. That is where the dragon would bounce, but it would start actually leaving the fire farther along. So now it'll start leaving the fire right where the thing is. And then Bookworm cooldown increased. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus trail duration and width. Ooh, I like that. And then Tier 2 changed from plus duration to minus cooldown and travel range. So it'll go farther. And then Tier 3 damage DPS rescaled. So it'll do less initial damage, but more DPS. And then tier 3 now also grants an additional charge. That's nice. All right, defend and fight renamed to plot armor. Yeah, this was kind of obvious. That was like everyone saw that one was obviously what it should be called. Which I like. I liked Conjure Dragon, but obviously that's just like kind of a generic. It does what it says. So I don't mind them. I like plot armor. That's nice. Barrier spirit scaling reduced. And then tier 3 now increases the spirit scaling. Okay, they just moved that power into the upgrade. Captivating read height area no longer increases with range bonuses. That's a nerf. Cooldown increased. Immobilized duration reduced. Tier 1 cooldown increased. Tier 2 immobilized duration increased. Tier 3 now increases the radius. Okay, so they just took some of the power and moved it into the AP upgrades. Rallying Charge Tier 3 now reduces the cooldown, and then Rallying Charge Tier 3 increases the max amp. Amp on the heal and the damage. Okay. Alright, Paradox. So far, the only two characters who have received no changes are Grey Talon and Holiday, and without the technicality, Bebop also didn't receive any changes. Cancel Hook is not an actual change, so Bebop, Grey Talon, Holiday had no real changes. Right, Paradox.
It was smart to turn to Paradox for help.
Pulse Grenade radius reduced. Pulse Grenade radius increases per pulse. Pulse Grenade amp per stack reduced. Cooldown increased. Spirit scaling reduced. Changed from minus move speed to minus time slow. Okay. So that affects your abilities, I guess? I don't know what the difference is, to be honest. Tier 1 changed from plus duration to minus cooldown. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown to plus damage and spirit scaling. And then Tier 3 changed from plus damage and radius to plus amp per stack and plus duration. Alright, Time Wall duration reduced. Time Wall no longer damages enemies going through it. Now increases allied bullet speeds going through it. Adds weapon damage to allied bullet damage. Oh, this is like making her more supportive. Also, by the way, this is just like Baptiste's amplification matrix, which we call the window in Overwatch. We call it window. Tier 1 increased width. Tier 2 changed from max health damage to plus duration and weapon damage. Tier 3 changed from silence to allow charges. Oh, okay. I kind of like that. I like that. Carbine cooldown increased. Speed, spirit scaling increased. You're going to go even faster. Base damage scale increased. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown and charge hold to just minus cooldown. And then Tier 3 now increases charge hold, so they just move that up. Alright, Paradoxical Swap. Cooldown increased. It no longer has lifesteal. The damage is changed from a base number to percentage of current health. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown and plus barrier. So minus cooldown to a barrier. Oh, okay. And then Tier 2 changed from plus damage to plus cast range and minus cooldown. And Tier 3 changed from plus cast range to swaps additional enemies in 7-meter radius. And plus 10% current health damage. Wow, okay. So I'm also noticing another thing with a lot of these changes. is for a lot of characters on their tier 3 upgrades for certain abilities, specifically their ultimates. They're adding these new, much more powerful effects to their ultimates. Or to the tier 3 upgrade. I guess we can go back, but it seems like there's a trend of them adding much more powerful effects to their tier 3 upgrades, which I kind of like, because then it rewards you invest into one particular ability or your ultimate. And it also feels like when you max out your ultimate, that's going to be a big power spike for you. So I like these types of changes. The idea that it swaps all enemies within 7 meters are also going to get swapped, and they're going to take 20% of their HP as damage. That's like crazy. Okay, Pocket.
We can build a better world.
Okay, buddy. But he doesn't do the spin anymore, which I like. The spin looked silly. So now he just... Yeah, he used to do a spin. Okay. Barrage projectile speed increased. And now let's use stamina. Oh. And you can use flying cloak. Ooh. Tier 1 increased from damage per projectile. Tier 2 cooldown increased. Tier 3 increased radius. Ooh. Barrage kind of got buffed a lot. Flying cloak cooldown reduced. Damage reduced. Duration increased for the same total distance. Tier 1 changed. So that's a nerf, by the way. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus damage. Tier 2 changed from plus damage to plus weapon damage on cast. That's interesting. And then Tier 3 changed from plus weapon damage after teleporting to plus travel time and minus cooldown. Oh. Interesting. Enchanter's Satchel. Spirit scaling increased. Tier 3 now also reduces movement speed. Tier 3 fire rate slow increased. Tier 3 escape duration increased. And then Tier 3 now also increases radius. Affliction no longer applies 12% current health damage. The DPS is increased. Spirit scaling is increased. The cooldown increased. Tier 1. Does this mean that Affliction can kill people? Or does this just mean like on an initial cast? When you initially cast it, it doesn't deal that damage. Tier 1 increased cooldown. Tier 2 no longer reduces healing. Tier 2 now increases the radius. Tier 3 no longer increases the radius. Tier 3 now prevents all healing. And Tier 3 increases the spirit scaling. Wow. Once again, the Tier 3 ultimate now being a massive power spike. Okay, Rim. Alright, Lil Helper's Trooper base healing reduced. And the delay between heals has been reduced. Okay. This is good because I feel like the helpers on troopers were so strong. Lil Helper's Trooper healing spirit scaling increased. Oh god. Nap time sleep move speed reduced. Sleep duration decreased. Radius decreased. Tier 2 changed from unstoppable and minus damage resist while channeling to plus sleep duration and plus radius. And then Tier 3 now also grants damage resist while channeling. Okay, so Rim is now no longer unstoppable unless he buys unstoppable. So he has to buy the item. Alright, 7.
With these hands I will destroy, and with these hands I will rebuild.
Okay, 7. Oh, I'm gonna jump there. Move speed no longer scales with spirit power, but your sprint speed was increased by a lot. Okay. I like it when move speed scales with spirit power. But okay. Lightning Ball slows down less versus non-heroes. Ooh. That makes it harder to this makes it harder for him to farm actually. Lightning Ball fixed, now doing damage if another ball is already hitting a target. That's a buff. Tier 2 now also increases the lifetime. Static charge damage reduced. Cast range reduced. Cast range no longer increases with spirit power. Tier 1 increased cooldown. Tier 2 now increases cast range. And then Tier 3 increases the damage. Power Surge duration no longer scales with spirit power. Cooldown increased. Max jumps increased. Tier 1 increased cooldown reduction. Tier 2 changed from minus spirit resist to plus move speed, plus damage and increased scaling. And Tier 3 changed from plus shock damage, scaling, and jumps to minus spirit resist and plus duration. Okay, Storm Cloud allows movement in the base ability. Bullet resistance reduced. Tier 1 bullet resist increased, and Tier 3 increases move speed. So, okay, I like that you can move based on Storm Cloud. I like that. But this is weird because basically this is massively nerfing spirit power on 7, which seems weird because I'm like, what? Is this saying we want to build more gun items on 7? Because this is just removing a lot of the value from building spirit on him. So I'm not really sure what the goal of this was, but Shiv.
The Baxter Society sent me.
Okay. Shiv, stamina reduced from 3 to 2. Stamina movement speed reduced. Bullet damage growth increased. Serrated knives no longer deal impact damage. Bleed DPS per knife increased. Bleed DPS spirit scaling increased. Tier 1 changed from a charge and to duration. Tier 2 changed from duration to charges. Tier 3 no longer gives more impact damage. Tier 3 DPS increased, which I guess is the bleed DPS, and Tier 3 increases spirit scaling. Slice and Dice cooldown increased. Impact damage reduced. It reduces spirit resistance. That's stack. Tier 1 increased cooldown. Tier 2 changed from impact damage to spirit resistance and dash range. And then Tier 3 grants impact damage. Alright, so Rage is not being changed. Alright. Killing Blow is no longer unit targeted. You jump in the direction forward with some small control. I don't think I like that. Killing Blow damage amp reduced.
No more games. It's over.
Oh, sorry, bloodletting. Okay. Tier 2 changed from plus enemy threshold. Tier 3 grants you 20 seconds to recast, rather than removing the cooldown. Okay, so this is actually a buff. And the reason this is a buff is... Well, actually, wait. Oh, never mind. This is not a buff. Sorry, it is explicitly a nerf. For some reason, I was thinking this occurred whenever you used it, not when you got a kill, but it's still whenever you got a kill. Okay. Silver.
Oh, why not? What else was I gonna do? Be responsible?
Okay, Mauling Leap, damage scaling reduced. Tail Whack, fixed it being considered a movement ability. Disarm duration reduced. Slow duration increased. Tier 3 changed from plus disarm duration to plus debuff duration. Lycan Curse cooldown increased. Lycan Curse base health bonus reduced. No longer grants bullet and spirit resistance. No longer grants move speed. Tier 1 resist increased. And Tier 2 bonus health increased. Okay. Victor. So we're swapping, or skipping, Sinclair and Venator. 2 more characters that got no changes.
I hate looking into the mirror and staring into a stranger's eyes. Where does he end and I begin?
Okay, buddy. Bullet damage increased. Pain battery now starts charged. Range increased. Reduced randomness on the projectile paths. Bolt count increased. Tier 2 increased damage. And Tier 3 also increases the spirit scaling. Jump start. Cooldown increased. Move speed reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. Tier 1 increases move speed. Tier 2 reduces cooldown. Tier 3 provides a charge. Tier 3 no longer reduces cooldown. And Tier 3 now increases spirit scaling. Aura of Suffering. Time to max DPS reduced. Radius increased. Toggle cooldown reduced. The minimum DPS is reduced. The minimum DPS spirit scaling is reduced. The max DPS is reduced. The max DPS spirit scaling is reduced. Tier 2 min and max DPS is reduced. Text progress bar indicates time to max DPS. Oh, I like that. And Tier 3 reduced... What? They take more damage. That should be increased. Shocking reanimation radius reduced. Rebirth health reduced. Tier 1 changed from plus radius and damage to while on cooldown plus fire rate and spirit damage per bullet. What the fuck? This, I guess, encourages you to be more aggressive. Tier 2 rebirth health increased. And then Tier 3 changed from while on cooldown plus fire rate plus spirit damage to plus radius, stun, and minus. Whoa, okay. Interesting. Alright, Vendicta.
I don't have the luxury of morality. There are lives at stake.
Oh. Alright, we're getting close. Fire rate no longer scales with spirit power. Bullet damage now scales with spirit power. So now she's like Grey Talon. And Grey Talon has the same thing. Ammo reduced, bullet velocity increased, stake damage reduced, stake damage spirit scaling increased, stake projectile speed increased, stake tier 1 changed from minus fire rate to plus damage, tier 3 tether duration increased, and tier 3 capture radius increased. Flight now allows you to use melee and parry. You have plus item cast range. Your spirit damage scaling is reduced. Your flight duration is reduced. Tier 2 duration is increased. Tier 3 spirit damage per bullet is reduced. Tier 3 now increases spirit scaling. Tier 3 now also refreshes your duration on hero kill. Whoa! That's cool. Crow Familiar now releases a swarm of crows in a cone forward, hitting all enemies along the path. Debuff duration no longer scales with spirit power. Debuff duration is increased. Bleed damage is reduced. Damage is increased. Cooldown is increased. Tier 1 changed from Ricochet to Reduce Healing. Tier 2 now increases bleed damage. Tier 3 now also increases debuff duration. Assassinate while scoped no longer unscopes when using items. Now has a 4-second buffer on impact for bonus credit. So basically, if you use Assassinate on someone and then you don't kill them, but they die within 4 seconds, you will still get the credit. While scoped now plays a sound for you when it is fully charged. And then weapon damage bonus increased. Okay. Viscous.
I am not a pile of goo. I'm merely piloting a pile of goo.
Splatter bounces once by default. Splatter cooldown is reduced. Splatter spirit scaling is reduced. Splatter ground effect now increases slide distance. Okay, that's really funny. I like that. That's funny. That's cool. Splatter multiple hit damage value reduced. Tier 1 radius increased. Tier 2 cooldown increased. Tier 3 spirit scaling increased. Tier 3 still adds 2 bounces. The cube now has a very brief period where allies cannot cancel to prevent accidental cancels. Nice. The cube healing spirit scaling increased. The cube tier 3 increased cooldown. Okay. Puddle Punch now grants plus air control when affecting yourself or allies. Ooh, I like that. Charge time is increased. Slow is increased. And now acts as if it's close range with respect to item procs. That's a big buff. Radius reduced. Tier 2 changed from plus damage and minus slow to plus radius and damage. Goo Ball can no longer carry the urn. Yeah, alright. That was like the last of the urn cheese strats. Goo Ball turn rate improved. You can now use abilities and items at the base level. The cooldown is increased. The duration is increased. Your resist is reduced. Tier 1 changed from plus duration to minus cooldown. Tier 2 reduced the damage. And then Tier 3 gives now duration and stun duration. Okay. Warden. Okay, Viper got no changes.
The stakes are high, and I will rise to the occasion.
Okay. Bullet growth per boon reduced by quite a bit. That's rough. Alchemical Flask weapon damage reduced. Alchemical Flask tier 2 damage increased. Tier 2 now also increases weapon damage reduction. Tier 2 no longer increases the radius. Tier 3 cooldown increased, and Tier 3 now increases radius. I guess, like, so there has been the trend of giving characters, like, super powerful extra abilities on Tier 3 upgrades for, like, ultimates and stuff. But now I feel like just in general, they're also just pushing more power into the Tier 3 upgrades. So that Tier 3 upgrades are, like, more worth it, I guess. Willpower duration reduced. Cooldown reduced. Barrier now scales with spirit power and the base ability. Ooh. So they're having us. They want us to build more spirit on Warden. Tier 2 cooldown reduced. Tier 2 now increases duration. Tier 3 changed from plus barrier health and improved scaling to plus debuff resistance and improved scaling. Binding word cast range reduced. Cooldown decreased. Tier 1 changed from plus immobilized duration to plus bullet damage to trap Tier O's. I like that a lot. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown to plus duration and plus cast range. Tier 2 now increases trap duration. But that's copied. That was already in the other note. Tier 3 changed from plus bullet damage to minus cooldown and silences enemies until they escape or are trapped. Whoa! So you can't use movement abilities. You can still dash, but that's actually really spicy. Again, a Tier 3 gaining a super powerful effect. Last stand. Channeling, bullet, and spirit resist increased. Radius reduced. Tier 1 increased radius. Tier 3 no longer grants resist. Tier 3 duration increased. And Tier 3 now grants you unstoppable while channeling. So I guess the idea here is that they don't want Last Stand to only be viable when you're using, like, Majestic Leap. They want you to be able to use it in the middle of enemies. Alright, so I did see about this. I didn't look at the details, but I did see this happened. So, Wraith.
Some people say it's better to be feared than loved. Those people totally get it.
Okay. Hard trick cards now have specific suites with special bonuses. Okay, so the spades deal plus 70% damage. Diamond cuts enemy resistance by 8%. Hearts heal you for 75 HP. And it scales with spirit. Clubs now apply 30% slow. And then Joker has all the above effects and it bounces to an additional enemy within 20 meters. Alright, card trick. Base charge count increased. Base damage reduced. Spirit scaling reduced. Build up now takes longer. Cooldown reduced. Post cast time reduced. Now highlights the card that will be thrown next. Now it has unique sounds for each card suite that is summoned. So I have a club, which will apply slow. Tier 1 increased for charges. Tier 2 changed from plus damage to plus more damage and increased spirit scaling. Tier 2 changed from plus card summon rate and 30% slow to improves card suites and increased joker chances. Okay. Fixed project mind interaction with stuns. Full auto no longer affects allies. Duration no longer scales with spirit power. Cooldown reduced. Base ability now deals extra spirit damage per bullet. So now we want to build some spirit with Wraith. Tier 1 increased cooldown. Tier 2 changed from spirit damage per bullet to plus fire rate and duration. And then tier 3 changed from plus bullet and spirit lifesteal and increased spirit scaling to unlimited ammo and increased spirit scaling. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Alright, telekinesis cooldown increased, cast range reduced, cast time increased. It's no longer a projectile and now instantly lifts the target and gives you a location target on the ground. After the lift is over, it'll throw the hero towards that location, up to 15 meters away. They'll take 100 damage, have move slow, and prevent stamina and movement item and ability usage. It's kind of like a little lash ult. Tier 1 changed from minus cooldown to plus damage. Tier 2 changed from plus silence and disarm to minus cooldown. And then Tier 3 changed from bounces to nearby target to plus debuff duration and plus throw and cast range.
Locking him down.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And up they go.
Ooh, wait, I like that a lot, actually. Alright, Yamato.
Lifted.
Get back over there, please. Thank you. Alright. Power Slash being held down no longer automatically fires it, so you can just hold it. You can now cast Parry while channeling Power Slash to fire the Power Slash and parry. Alright, base ability now has bullet resist while channeling, cooldown increased, slash length reduced, tier 1 changed from plus bullet resist while channeling to plus slow for 3 seconds. Tier 2 changed from minus cooldown and slow to just minus more cooldown. And then tier 3 grants plus range. Flying Strike is renamed to Flying Slash. So it's all three are types of slashes. Flying Slash now does light melee damage rather than spirit damage. The slow is increased, the cooldown is increased, the range is increased. Tier 1 changed from slow to cooldown. Tier 2 changed from cast range to cast range and gains spirit power. Tier 3 changed from can grapple to ally heroes and plus weapon damage to can grapple to ally heroes and it becomes charged and grants 2 charges. Okay. Fixed Flying Slash Tier 3 ally cast stopping too soon before reaching the player. At Crimson Slash, cooldown increased, fire rate reduction increased, Tier 1 changed from minus fire rate to on hit plus melee damage, which goes to combo with Flying Slash, which now does melee damage. Tier 3 increased cooldown, Tier 3 now increases spirit scaling. Shadow Transformation cooldown increased. Bullet and Spirit resist reduced. Tier 1 changed from plus fire rate to plus weapon damage. Tier 2 now grants reduces cooldown. Tier 3 increased bullet and spirit resist. Okay. And is this the what was linked? Okay, that's what's also here. So, Golden Egg Goose, souls per minute increased. They buffed the item, and it's still not very good. Torment Pulse damage reduced more. Hotel Guest Tier 3 late checkout cooldown increased. Ivy Entangling Thorns spirit scaling reduced. Paradox Pulse Grenade spirit scaling reduced. Time while slow duration increased. Tier 1 now also increases the duration. Tier 2 no longer increases the duration. And Tier 2 now also silences. They brought back the silence. And then swap damage changed from 10% max health to 125 with spirit scaling. Then Tier 3 does max health damage and it can now be alt casted to swap only a single target. Why would you want to do that though? That means swap can just kill. Wait, that means if an enemy is under 10% max health, you just press 4 on them and they die. It's just to execute. Alright, silver. Lycan Curse base health bonus increased, and then tier 2 increased speed. Viscous Splatter, tier 3 spirit scaling reduced, and Puddle Punch scaling reduced. Wraith Cartrix Spade reduced for the... I don't remember what the percentage was. Say...
I don't appreciate the news labeling some of my services as rackets. Who wouldn't love being protected by me?
Okay, the bonus damage. Heart scaling reduced. Tier 3 heart scaling increased. Fixed card trick heart heal doing full value for non-heroes. And telekinesis debuff duration reduced. Alright. Well, there we go. We finally got through all the patch notes in about 2 hours. Well, that was a lot. Now let's play a street brawl and then a normal game. Queue times. Did everyone stop playing the game or what happened? I understand when I'm playing Overwatch I'm going to get long queues because I'm like high rank, but this is a casual game mode and I'm not even very high rank, so I don't know, man. There we go. Alico.
I lay these gifts before you.
Some of my favorite tools of the trade.
Is it even normal going cooldown when you're taking damage?
This isn't over. Better people have tried to kill me.
Goodbye. We're gonna heal.
Very wily paradox.
Growing gloom. The shadows call and I answer. You're going to be done with.
Death is coming.
What? That is like a crazy grave position.
Defend the stronghold.
I'll make them big. No mercy. Surprise! Took out Lash.
It's a little bit rough. Improved radiant regeneration. That's also rough.
Oh, you wanted to fight me? Well, here I am.
False sense of security.
Still weird how it's completely silent.
I go where I wish. These are your final moments. They took out Paradox.
What's the matter, all getting? Got anyone on Bebop?
Thanks for your assistance.
Well,
Enjoy. Bear down. The shadows of my sword and shield. We took out Lash. Death awaits. The streets are mine to prowl.
get off of me.
Now that was quite it's coming. Meet your end. They took out Paradox. The shadows call and I answer.
Oh, yeah.
No one can stop me.
Okay. Actually look at my builds.
I'll do whatever it takes to save Miss Shelley.
Oh god. My trophy collector? Can I delete these? Um, the hell is this? Okay, we're just going to use Jonas's tank. Alright. Then, for Talon...
There is no escaping me.
You can use Al Qaeda Training Academy. Okay. Then for Paige.
There is nothing more rewarding than making stories come to life.
I think we'll just run Piggy's support page. And then Sinclair.
Can we please pretend to like each other for 60 minutes?
I'm gonna be optimistic and say, sure.
I think I still want to use the Raigeki one. Okay. There we go. My four mains have got a good build to use, so.
Gone. Miss Shelley needs my help. Who wants to play with old Bebop, eh?
Can I at least have a hug?
We'll just rock with this. Alright, here we go.
Paige, you are more than a protagonist.
There we go. We got our early game all set up.
More than a hero. You, my dear, are about to become a legend.
Sad part about changing the ability names is it's going to take a while for me to actually get used to the new names, because even though I like the new names more, in my head it's still called Definitive Fight. What is Paradox doing? Why is she sitting so far back, bro?
It's brutal out there, huh?
Come, let's fight.
As long as I can.
This page is very, or sorry, this Paradox is very passive.
It's right back here. Need a dragon? Want me to dragon? Try my best.
Be right back.
This is a great lead.
best. I love it.
Holy shit. Okay, unreactable.
Stay safe. I got something for you. Set this up fast. Korean fantasy. I hope you like the book. I'll try to slow him. Lancelot, I need you.
Gotta go heal. We're a little low on souls, but I think that's normal. Our team is up on souls though, so that's good.
The Venator fights with fervor.
If you need more protection, you know where to find it.
I need this to work.
Broadway. Viscus is missing.
What did I get caught on there? I don't even know. Paradox bought the egg.
Hope you win whatever fight you're about to start.
Why are there 4 people on yellow?
The spirit urn is waiting to be played.
Go to the secret shop.
I don't go selling these to just anyone.
We'll deal with that later.
Leave us alone. Cleaning. We're in this together.
Our Green Guardian has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Our Green Walker is under attack.
I'm here to help. There's so
Headed to blue.
This one is one of my favorites.
Let's see who still standing.
Stay safe. You're coming with me.
Headed to yellow.
What? That was... What a waste!
Exquisite work, Paradox.
My friend.
Pull back.
The Venator fights with fervor. Our yellow walker is under attack.
For Camelot. As long as I can. They have to be here somewhere.
Act around there? It does.
Our yellow walker is under attack. Our green walker is under attack.
Okay. This is like a very low rank lobby.
Gotta remember to go to the store.
Good luck completing the ritual.
Our green walker is under attack.
Time to end their miserable existence.
I got you.
Oh, still fighting.
The tide will be paid in
Holy
blood.
shit. Let me go sell monster rounds.
Our green walker is under attack.
Now go out there and impose your will.
Here you go. Here comes the cavalry.
It didn't hit the enemy?
Great job.
Let's see who's still standing.
This is a great
Holy shit. There's a doorman in this lobby?
This day will be unforgettable.
What the fuck is happening in this lobby right now?
Let out the beast.
Nice teamwork.
Our green walker is under attack.
I'm just sitting here, waiting to be appreciated.
Solar is here.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Headed to green. Headed to yellow.
Okay. Bro, what? Bro, this is like literally Initiate 1 lobby. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Let the ley lines course through. Paradox, you work well with others.
I'll try to slow him. Don't worry about a thing. I took out Beatball. Come on, buddy.
Our green walker is under attack.
Let's see who's still standing.
Press the wrong button there. Press crouch instead of shift.
Swing by anytime.
The Venator fights with fervor.
Enjoy our hospitality.
Be right back. I see the goat. They took out Venator.
I didn't know if someone else wanted that. This movement is like whatever. I mean, I like it, but
Broadway needs help. I see the goat.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
You're a good kid. Don't get dead.
don't get dead. So true.
Our green walker is under attack.
We already have a bunch of people over there. We won the fight.
Headed this way.
The Archmother offers many.
That radius is so big. What the heck? See how big that radius is?
Headed to York.
The doorman's missing.
Can you come put in the urn? Oh my god. I'm sitting here stunning Doorman for so long.
Conjuring.
If you like that, I got some other stuff that fell off the truck.
Do I actually want that? I think we'll go Dispel instead. There.
I can keep going. The
enemy could be anywhere.
Oh, that is definitely wider than before. Wow.
Headed to Blue.
Want to meet a dragon?
Oh.
Way to go!
Renaissance.
Paige, your presence here makes us all strong.
That shit lasts 10 years, bro. I kind of want to give us the extra trooper wave by destroying this. Holy shit, that damage.
Impressive as always, Hayes.
Alright, no one is coming with me. Wait, Hayes is here.
Walker is under attack. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
They couldn't have gone far.
There's no escaping me.
We need to be careful. They
Exquisite work, Paradox.
We got one.
Nice work.
Okay. I achieved my goal, which is giving Bebop a shield. I self-cast.
Expired.
Time to end their miserable existence.
Feel safer already.
Let's see who's still standing.
Teamwork.
Death to the hidden king!
A Venator will not be denied.
They're broken. The hidden king must die!
A lot of troops don't know what to do.
Positioning.
I'll save the day!
Such finesse. Good times. You fought well.
Good game.
Okay. What a weird game.
No, that was satisfying.
Paradox, Venator, and Infernus. Only 15,000 damage, but 21,000 healing. Plus a bunch of CCs and stuff. And like Disarming Hex, which is one of my favorite items because it's evil. It's an evil item. Venator, 21 kills and 59,000 damage. That's a spicy meatball. Wait, Bebop with Siphon? Wait, this is like a... He was running like a bullet Bebop. What the hell is this? This is a weird-ass Bebop build. And Haze with Boundless Spirit. And weighted shots? So bizarre. Okay. Did builds change that much with this update? It was an Archon lobby. Where's Archon? That was an Archon lobby? What the hell? How did that... There was a bunch of dumb shit happening in that game, but okay. Well, the stream has already been pretty long, so we'll only do the one game for today, but that was fun. This update seems like it changed a lot of really interesting and cool things. So after this, I'm now going to go watch videos from people breaking down this patch to see if there was stuff that I didn't consider or think about when I first read through it. That would be cool. It is kind of funny that Sinclair, Bebop, and Grey Talent, 3 of my 4 mains, literally got no changes at all, other than you can cancel Hook by pressing spacebar. And then Paige got a decent amount of changes, but it was just kind of like shuffling around stuff. We renamed her abilities, but also I guess one thing is that you get extra trail width, which scales with spirit or something? I don't know. Oh, yeah, no. Your tier 1 upgrade gives you extra radius, so you get extra width on that. Yeah, not too much. So most of my characters really didn't change very much in how they work, but also there's the spirit item changes, or the items changing as well, which changes things. All we're waiting on now is, new models for Yamato, Bebop, Grey Talon, Sinclair, Viscus, Viper, potentially Kelvin, potentially Warden. I want like a refresh character model update, as well as like character voiceover change as well. Yeah. Alright, well, if you happen to tune in during the stream, I thank you. This was actually really fun. Those patch notes were way longer than I was expecting, but they were very interesting. I'm excited to see if this makes the game feel a bit nicer. I liked the idea of giving certain tier 3 upgrades like a lot more power to them, a lot more punch. I like that. But yeah, that will be all. I think I should be streaming tomorrow. It is, of course, Monday is grocery day, so it'll be a little bit of a starter late time, a later start time. But yeah, that'll be about it. I will see y'all on the next one.